Uh-oh. Okay.
Okay, we're live right now.
Okay. Is it time to start looking at it?
Okay, here we go. This is, we're going to start looking at the timer.
So tell me when it's time.
Okay, we have started.
Okay. All right. I'm looking. Are you recording me at this point, or are you recording you? You have to click
Uh,
on me if you want it to look at my face, because I'm seeing yours.
okay, we're recording you. Okay, so I paused it. We've gone on to step 2 now,
Okay.
the share reactions.
So I'm the evaluator. So honestly, um, I like the bold black title on the side. The logo is very prominent, but it's down at the bottom, so it's nice, but it might be more prominent. The photo is a good photo, but I like the fact that you've brought out that first line. Do you have the competitive edge? That's really nice. It tracks. The photo is not as prominent maybe as it ought to be. It looks more like it's crammed in there than actually trying to attract. That's just a personal thing, I think. The spacing between the paragraphs is probably more than you should do. They look like they're separate things. They don't look like they're tied together, and it's okay, but it's not as pleasant. It kind of makes it to where there's a lot more white space than I would. I'd like to see the white space more together and less in between the paragraphs. But I do think that overall it's got a nice balance of color. I like the fact that it's not centered, and I think it does pretty good. You do have the time, date, and place centered, but that's the only thing. That plus up at the top, that one sentence at the very top on the right is centered, but um, it's not bad because it's balanced with the other parts that aren't centered, and so it's got a good asymmetry there. I would probably make the photo a little larger, and I'd probably make the text paragraphs to where there's not so much leading between the paragraphs because they look like they're disjointed. And I'd let more white space show up.
All right, and so now we're on to step 3, analyze the message.
Perfect. I love the fact that the conference is a nice big bold title. I love the do you want to have the competitive edge, that it's bold and larger than the rest because it really attracts. I think that's my biggest message is that one bolder part up in the upper right. I really think that draws my attention. I don't notice the graduate leadership conference as much because it is sideways, so I have to turn to look at it. I do notice it because it's bold and black, so I see it and it's fine. I would probably really tone down the logo. It has way more prominence than it ought to have because it's like, wow, we're doing voyant communications as opposed to the other messages. Um, if I were going to swap it, I would make the date, time, place bigger and the logo smaller, personally. But I think the message gets across. I think you want it. I just think that maybe you don't want to send the logo quite so much.
Okay, I think that's really great feedback. I think my biggest thing that I was wondering about was, it said in the body that we had to have the 12 point
Right.
maximum for the body, and so the body just looks so small to me. I'd really like to have it bigger, but just staying within the parameters of the project. Do you have any advice on that?
Well, I think you really do want to stay to the 12 because this is a flyer, not a poster.
Right.
And so people are going to read it, and big font is actually quite clunky to read. So you don't want to have a lot of text in anything larger than 12. 12 is plenty big unless you've got someone with bad vision. So I would say it'll look just fine as a 12.
All right, and now we're on to critique the design.
Okay, opinions and review. Well, I kind of thought I did that. I guess I messed that up. Basically, the design does look good. Like I said, I like the balance in there and everything. I would definitely make that logo less prominent because it just is wild. But I would definitely also remove that extra spacing you put in the text. It's like you're trying to fill it. I don't see as much white space. It's not like you need a lot of white space, but I feel like the white space is being spread around instead of grouped. You have enough white space. It's just that it needs to be more um, consolidated. With the text spread out like that, it feels like the white space is being robbed. Even though you've got a really good space right above the logo um, and some other spaces, it looks nice. You did really great with the half-inch margins. I think your font looks fine. I think your font choices are pretty good. You could, as an option, use the same serif font on the bolded part if you wanted to, because those are large enough to where you could actually use a serif there, but there's no reason to. You don't have to. It actually looks nice and clean the way it is. I think you did a great job with your type choice, your font choices. Let me see. Oh, the checklist, message, audience grouping. Your alignment is good, other than the fact that the photo doesn't align with a whole lot other than it is with the bold part on the side, but it doesn't align with anything else in the message. But, it's not bad alignment. It's not too bad at all. And the contrast is good. I like your contrast. And
All right,
are
well
we done?
that's our time.
Yay! So
Yeah,
we can stop
I
recording.
got some notes here just real quick. Yeah, it
Okay.
just says that my photo is too large, got too much white space on the text. I need to tone down the logo, and I think that's all really great feedback. So I'm going to apply
Well,
that.
I
Thank you
think
very much.
the photo is not too large. It needs to be larger.
That's what I meant. You're right. Okay.
The
Make the
logo's
photo
too
larger.
large. The logo's
Logo's
large.
too large.
Logo's too large. Yeah. Yeah, the logo is like
And I
super
agree with you on
prominent.
everything.
The logo's actually the
Right.
biggest thing on your page. Did you realize that?
I
Your,
didn't.
your logo is actually the biggest thing on your page. The word graduate appears to be larger, but the font in the word graduate is actually shorter than the Voyant Communications logo. So the logo
Okay.
actually is more prominent than anything else, and that's actually one of the things the rubric, says you got to watch out for that. And I was immediately drawn to that. I can't help looking at it, and it needs to be a lot less prominent, I think.
Great.
So cool. We can stop the recording and